Welcome guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video we'll be doing a updated version of the Boros Mobilize deck that I uploaded yesterday, and we'll be going through a best of one standard event and also just kind of looking at some of the changes and sort of why I made these changes, etc. But first, if you go to the video description, you're going to see the full playlist for all of my best of one standard events and each individual deck. In addition, you're also going to see a full playlist, a full deck list on moxfield.com and all of the deck stats and win rate percentages on untapped.gg. In addition, I have another channel if you want to check that out. I'm also a writer. I write science fiction and fantasy. And in addition, there's a link to subscribe if you would like to subscribe to this channel and if you like the content. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. So looking at the deck from the other day, I noticed that there were a couple tweaks that I could make to maybe make it a little bit more effective. Now, some of these are untested. Some of these, I've done a couple games on ladder, and it's been performing well. So I decided to cut the Sheltered by Ghosts and replace it with Lightning Helix. Part of the reason for this is that, we need some interaction. And I also noticed that a lot of the creatures in this deck have a very low base power. And so the amount of life you're going to be getting from the Sheltered by Ghosts isn't that much. Most of the mechanic is kind of going wide. And so this is a nice way to make sure we get a decent amount of life when we use the Lightning Helix as opposed to Sheltered by Ghosts. And also it's instant speed. And even though it can't get all non-land permanents, it's very good at dealing with middle-sized creatures and also going face for the final points of damage. The other change that I made, I was looking at the 1-drops, and I ended up cutting the white 1-drop that was the 2/1. I can't think of the name at the moment, but it has Endure 1, and you can pay when it attacks to Endure. And I just found that I didn't end up having the mana really all that often, and it just seemed to be somewhat irrelevant. I think, in a potential situation against like a control deck where the game is going a bit long, it could be good. But I think Hired Claw is a much better 1-drop in general, and we can make the deck support this card instead. And so I replaced it with Hired Claw, which has been a absolute staple in the Boros aggro decks and the mono red decks. In addition, I wanted to change the mana base to sort of accommodate this. So I went from running 1 plains and 3 mountains to cutting the plains and moving it up to 5 mountains, and then shaving 1 copy of Sunbillow Verge, just to make sure that we're more likely to have access to red on turn 1. So those are the kind of changes from the other day. If you want to look at the previous video, it's going to give a complete breakdown of each card and how to prioritize your plays. So check that out if you'd like to do that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the event. But yeah, I'm very excited about this deck. I ended up running it on ladder last night after making the last video, and it went 4-0 on Mythic Ladder, and it's been doing pretty well today also. Some losses, but overall very positive. So yeah, I'm happy with the changes. Hopefully it's going to go well. Also, I want to say thank you guys for all the input in the comments. I really appreciate it. And bringing up cards that I haven't thought of, so that is very much appreciated. I haven't had a chance to try them all, but it's cool to see, you know, kind of the community and checking out different options. Anyways, this is a good opening hand. We don't have a 2-drop yet, but our 1 and 3 drops are great. We've got enough mana, so let's go ahead and give this a go. We'll lead out with the Inspiring Vantage, and then maybe on turn 2, we can drop one of these Sacred Foundries. All right, it looks like we are up against potentially Simic Omniscience. Again, unfortunately, we don't have a play this turn. But getting another Warleader's Call looks pretty good. And if we can build up a decent board... oh, never mind. I guess this is artifacts. These are actually pretty nice cards here against artifacts. If they have like the Perilous Snare, that's annoying, but it does dodge the Pinnacle Star Cage, so at least it's a little bit harder to remove. All right, Helix could come in handy here. Let's go ahead with the first Warleader's Call. And now this is going to swing for 10. So very, very powerful with this combo. Yeah, it goes from basically a 3-4 to a, a 10-5. Yeah, if they don't have an answer here for Packbeasts, we could be in a good situation. Yeah, Star Cage is not going to do it. I guess they just want to go ahead and get a blocker there. One blocker is not going to be enough, though. Okay, we've got double Helix, but yeah, this should be enough. This is going to be a whole heck of a lot of damage. Yeah, and they're just going to... That'll do it. Double Warleader's Call is pretty ridiculous. All right, 1-0. By the way, if you haven't crafted this deck yet and are considering it, I highly recommend that you do. I had kind of fallen in Mythic, sort of trying out different various versions and whatnot, and with this most recent version here, I very quickly climbed back up to like the top 500 Mythic. So this deck is not a joke, and I think it's definitely going to be something that you can use to climb to Mythic very easily. All right, opening hand looks very good. Mana's a little awkward, but yeah, we'll keep it. All right, Velgoth's Faithful. Okay, some sort of graveyard recursion. All right, let's lead out here with our Inspiring Vantage. Now, having just added Hired Claw to the deck, I don't know which one we're supposed to be doing. I think since I don't have a Neighborhood Guardian, I'll start out with the Hired Claw since it can attack through this thing. If we had Neighborhood Guardian, this would be attacking as a 2/2 and making a 1/1, so it could safely attack through. Okay, I guess Well, there's the Neighborhood Guardian. However, the mana doesn't quite work, so we just need to play another 1-drop, and then hopefully draw into a 3rd land here. Okay, there's our 3rd land. Now I think we want to just go for Packbeasts here. It's going to be our most threatening card. Yeah. We could attack here, but since they've got 2 blockers, they could easily block it. So we're just going to skip the attack phase and go straight to playing a Packbeast. If we draw into 4 mana, having Guardian plus Frontline Rush is pretty good. Since we'll be able to add +5/+5 as needed. But we're certainly happy to go for Warleader's Call here, which is also going to be great. Now I think if we Warleader's Call, this is an X5. They can't quite kill it unless they've got more action. So I think it's definitely worth trying. It's the best use of our mana also, which is also great. And I think we'll probably hold the Hired Claw back here. They could double block it safely. And then next turn, if we draw into land, like Neighborhood Guardian plus Frontline Rush is pretty ridiculous. Or just double Frontline Rush. If we don't, Imodane's Recruiter is going to be pretty exciting too. Even just Neighborhood Guardian by itself is good. All right, Valgoth, okay. Well, we can kind of try to set up here. Let's see, if we attack with everybody, we can add +5/+5, which is not enough to get through. So I think let's just add Neighborhood Guardian here and then just wait. Could also have done like Frontline Rush end of turn. That's another option. Maybe that'd be safer. But I think we can actually outpace a Valgoth if we draw the right land. Like this deck has successfully raced a Lyra Dawnbringer. Okay, Authority. So they're threatening the kill. They can make this thing indestructible and hit us for 12 in the air next turn, unfortunately. So if we Imodane's Recruiter, I mean, if they just block this and this, we're pushing 2, 5, and then 3 triggers, 11, plus the Guardian triggers is 14. It's not quite enough. We might just be dead here, unfortunately. Because if we go for Frontline Rush, yeah, unless they somehow screw this up and like don't make this thing indestructible, I think we just lose here, unfortunately. All right, we're just gonna see if they screw up. We want to make this a 3/4. And then a couple of these we can make 3/3s. So we can add 2 more tokens and then make this thing a 3/5. But as long as they sacrifice another creature, they should be fine. Yep. Oh yeah, and of course we have the loss of life from the token as well. So unfortunately didn't quite get there. God, they got down to 3? So if we had actually pumped somewhere else, we would lose the 2 triggers. Would we have actually just killed... Did I just miss lethal? Oh my god. I think I might have just missed lethal. Ah, sigh. Yeah, because then we wouldn't have the 2 triggers. They'd be at 5 minus the +5/+5. And we would have had exact lethal. So my mistake there. Yeah, assuming they attack. All right. All right, 1 and 1. Yeah, I missed lethal there. But it's cool to know that you can actually successfully race a flying 9/9 lifelink with this deck. All right, opening hand looks good. We've got some early removal, 3 drops, 3 land. Don't have a 1 drop, but that's okay. And we'll start out here with the Sacred Foundry. Okay, there's a Stadium Headliner. All right, Slick Shot Show Off. We could hold Helix here. I don't think they're going to do 20. Maybe that's just... Maybe I should be safe and hold it, but... I guess it is possible that they could kill us on turn 3 with the right combination, but that's typically like a mono red deck. I don't think they use white in that version. So I'm going to go with Packbeasts and just set up. Because I think they need triple red mana to actually kill us in this on turn 3. Could be wrong. All right, now we can go for... we can actually just use Headliner to kill it and save these helixes. The nice thing here is that if they have like shard mages, whatever, we can just respond. Bayo the Irresistible. Whatever, it looks like it's Helix bait. Okay, Guardian is a nice pickup. Okay, we don't quite have lethal here. We can hit them for 11. Yeah, that's going to do it. All right, 2 and 1. Okay, opening hand looks good. We've got a nice 1-2 play. We just need a little bit of land. Start off with Mountain for Stadium Headliner. Ooh, Firebrand is pretty good here. Okay, could really use a land. They have the shock to go with it. Okay. All right, there's the land. That's a nice pickup. Trying to decide if we want to block here, because like they would have to use. I guess they could use a shock to kill it. Or they could do that. I mean, that seems like a win to me, like forcing them to use 2 pieces of removal on it. Let's see if they can do that again. Surprised they didn't attack there because they would have gotten an extra free point of damage. Alright, we've got a nice setup here for Guardian into Frontline Rush. Let's see if they block the 0-4. See if we can bait him into it. Actually, let's just put 3 here and then they'll block a token and we'll kill it. That'll work too. Trying to think where they're most likely to block, how much damage I can push through maximally. Yeah, I guess this is probably the best way. Do we even care about their Hired Claw is the real question. I guess they're at 21, so we should probably kill it. Nemesis is good, but Dalkovan Packbeasts beats Nemesis. Ha! Fine. That's actually a hilarious matchup there. Packbeast versus Nemesis. I guess we could push here. Like, I suppose we have Helix to draw into, but yeah, if we attack here, they can't kill anything. So I think we can just push some free damage here. A nice pickup. Hired Claw into Recruiter into push. They can start killing things, but we're pushing a decent amount of damage here. They're gonna go face. Oh man, I suppose if they have like Helix and they draw into Helix, we die. Have they got it? Oh no. Say it not so. Alright. A little close. That is hilarious though. Packbeast is so good against Screaming Nemesis. Yeah, that's really nice. 3-1. Unfortunately, Double Mountain is not going to work. That looks much better. I think I have Throwback Authority here. We want the 3 land because we've got the double Packbeast. Authority like could be really good or it could be okay. Yeah, it would definitely be kind of a whiff here, so glad we tossed it back. I don't think we want to I suppose we want to have access to Rush. Like, they're not going to give us a bunch of pressure, so playing Foundry here is probably the move. I also think just growing the Hired Claw, making it a threat, seems fine. Because I think Frontline Rush gets better later in the game. If they want to remove it, they can, sure. Ooh, mill, okay. All right, let's get Dalkovan down. It's a nice pickup. Yeah, we'll just play. They might have like Day of Judgment, so maybe it's good to like Frontline Rush end of turn. Set up something like that, just see what they do. Sure, that works too. There's Day. Okay, I guess it's enough of a threat to be using Day. Yeah, I think we just go end of turn and then like set up a recruiter play. The other thing we could do here is we could just do it main phase to hit land. I kind of like that. Like, if they Day our 2 tokens, whoop-de-doo. Ooh, another pack beast. I kind of like that too. Oh, I suppose we left it on top, so they just return. Yeah, okay. Forgot about that. They were all business with the Day of Judgment. Okay. This is a nice turn to recruiter, I think. Yeah, we don't need to get like total value here by going for trained troops. We just want to kind of get moving. I see they noticed our Dalkovan Encampment. Ooh, man, those would have been good too. Yeah, okay. Let's see, we have 10 cards in yard. We can probably fetch. If we draw a 3-drop, we want to have access. Like if we lose by 1 card, then we weren't supposed to fetch. Ha. Suck it. Sure. I think while their shield's down, I'm going to Helix them. Do they have, like, the 1-mana Spell Pierce? No. Okay. Voices. Oh, voice is actually hilarious. So then we do the spell test. They would still be able to use their Restless Anchorage, though. And they can use their River Churn. Trying to decide if we want to go for the Helix instead. If they have like Ride's End, it could prevent Ride's End, but I don't know that I care. I think we go for it. We could Helix their Anchorage, but we could also kill them. All right, let's do the damage first. Do they have a counter? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. Actually, I suppose the better play would be we could have sacked our guy to kill their Anchorage. But then, like, if they didn't have the counter, we could have just killed them right there. All right, this is still pretty good. All right. We could have done Voice of Victory first, but oh god, can they kill us? We're at 17. We'll go to 19. I think they need 2 turns to kill us. Let's see, they need to draw a land. If they draw a land, they get us. That also works, unfortunately. Yeah, so maybe patience would have been the move. That was one of the few cards that could have won the game for us. All right, definitely rewarded there. Yeah, they had 1 card in hand, and like, what are the chances it's a counter? I suppose it's decent, but yeah, 4-1. Yeah, opening hand looks great. Could use a 3rd land for sure. But other than that, looks good. Ooh, nice pickup. Is this mono blue spirits maybe? Or wait, no. Dimir. Okay, we'll do the counter spell test. We could consider like waiting till end of turn to do Frontline Rush, but I think Voice of Victory is just a better card here. And the nice thing is if they have removal and not a counter, they won't be able to do anything. They have like Phantom Interference or something. Yep. Okay. I don't think this deck runs that many Phantom Interference though, so I think it was a valid idea. The best use of our mana is probably Frontline Rush. Hard Claw is fine. I think I'm going to try to Frontline Rush end of turn. Tidebinder. Could Helix that if we care. I think what they want to do is they want to be able to go like Enduring Curiosity. That's probably their play. We could also Frontline Rush before they untap. Oh, they might also want to go for like Kato, I suppose. I think we just Helix that now. Because like if it's unblocked, I suppose we could also kill it during declare attackers unless they have like another Phantom Interference. I think I'm just gonna kill it now. All right, let's try this again. No counters. Okay, thanks. We at least wasted their turn by holding up mana, so still feel pretty good about that. We could go for Dalkovan Packbeasts. I think it's a little better than just using our Frontline Rush. Again, they could have another piece of removal here, but we are eventually going to get something through. Okay, more action. All right, now I think we want to just go for the Frontline Rush end of turn. There's the Curiosity, okay. Yeah, they definitely wanted that earlier on, for sure. And I think it's worth half a token, or half a Frontline Rush, just to prevent the card draw. If they go for like Soulstone Sanctuary, that's kind of annoying. Sure. Yeah, they're just like desperate to refill here. This also prevents Kato nonsense. Do we just Frontline Rush again? It's not a great use of mana. Yeah, this is kind of a tough spot. I'm not sure. Like, I certainly don't want them to start drawing cards, but I think that probably Warleader's Call is the move here. Otherwise, I guess we could go for like 2 more tokens. We could go for like Recruiter, but Recruiter seems like it could be better next turn. I think I'm just going to go for the Warleader's Call. We can let them start drawing cards and start pushing damage. because I think chump blocking here again doesn't feel great. They can get in for 2 more, but I think we got to start doing damage. Yeah, Enduring Curiosity is a busted card. So we could Frontline Rush into Recruiter and push for a decent amount. Otherwise, we could train troops. That's another option. Training troops is kind of nice. That gives us some decent blocks. Does give them more time. I guess they could also have like another Phantom Interference. I think, yeah, this is tough. Because if we go for like Frontline Rush plus Recruiter, we can swing in for 12. Plus the 1 damage. Actually, that actually looks pretty good. Definitely a chance they've got some kind of removal here is the only thing. But our life is getting low enough that maybe we just need to move instead of doing the Knights of Vigilance. Man, I'm not sure. I think we're gonna go that way. Don't know if it's right. So force a block at least. At the very least, we get them to 1 unless they've got action. Okay, so they've got removal for Recruiter, looks like. With Authority, though, like, we're doing okay. They've got to be more cognizant of their life total. And we just need to draw something. That was pretty ballsy. I guess they have to have removal in hand. Okay, this is a little wild. I'm not sure I would have played this way, but we'll see. That's not going to do it. Did they forget about Authority? I mean, okay. Cool story. All right, we'll take it. All right, 5 and 1. Yeah, opening hand looks amazing. And we're on the play. Looks great. I think because we have a Guardian, Headliner might be a little better. We don't have to have a mana investment, and it'll push for 3 damage. Okay, ooh, double Hired Claw. I mean, when you can double spell, seems like you always want to. Yeah, Authority's pretty good against us, though, I will say that. I think we just use Frontline Rush to win this over Guardian. Oh, you know what? I suppose we could have sacked Headliner. Maybe that would have been better. This is fine. We'll keep Headliner around. So yeah, I guess we just go for trained troops or neighborhood guardian here, and then wait for the setup. Yeah, I'm wondering if we should have sacked the stadium headliner when we actually used the Frontline Rush. That probably would have been a little bit better. I kind of forgot we could do that until mid-combat. So now I think we just train troops. Yeah, unfortunately we're not going to be able to deal with this 5/5 just yet. Got to set up. This is a situation where the Helix is not as good as the Sheltered by Ghosts. Okay, so now don't really have a good attack. Guess if we go like Headliner plus... Actually, Headliner, if we play Headliner... we can use Headliner to get rid of something here. Probably this 5/5 first strike. I think it's a problem. Not a great attack just yet. Oops. All right, no attacks. Ooh, Sheltered by Ghosts off the top is pretty brutal. Lisa doesn't have first strike. And I think we want to set up a board where we can trade with this thing. So if we go for Recruiter here, I guess we could trade here. We might have to lose a Hired Claw to that thing. Push for a little bit. And as long as they don't have the thing that gives it flight, then we're okay. Yep, that's pretty busted. It's gonna be hard to fight that. Just trying to think if we have any answers in our deck to a 13/12 lifelink. I don't know that we do. We could double block Hex Mage and then throw Hired Claw in front of it. Or we could just go down to 2. I think maybe we just go down to 2 here since we could do that next turn. Encampment. Okay. I think we leave Recruiter back to bear the full brunt of the Scavenger. Oh yeah, Fortress is pretty best. That's pretty good. I don't think we had a way out anyways, but now we definitely don't. We'll see one draw step to see what we draw. I don't think there's any way out though. Yep. All right. Yeah, so I guess the Sheltered by Ghosts is good at dealing with opposing Sheltered by Ghosts. But I think Helix does have some merit. Just being able to react at instant speed and not getting blown out is nice. Okay, opening hand looks good. We've got stuff to do. We need a third land, but we are on the draw. Okay, there's the third land. Hydra is going to be a problem. We need a Lightning Helix right away. All right, so I think Packbeasts is probably the play over Authority plus Hired Claw. That thing can get out of hand super quickly. So that's another argument for potentially Sheltered by Ghosts. Oof, Terramorphic Expanse is going to be brutal. Yeah, and I don't think we have any answers to that after it's a 24-24 or 48-48, whatever it happens to be. Or 56, you know, one of those two. All right, tough beats. So 5 and 3, and one of the games I did throw the game by not seeing lethal, so potentially we could have gone farther, but 5 and 3 is still a positive outcome. Let's see what we got. All right. So yeah, overall, let's take a look at the stats. All right, so we are at 63% win rate, 10 wins and 6 losses, and 71% win rate on the play, 56% on the draw. So it is doing great against Azorius, which is nice, both the artifacts and control. And it's doing well against Boros, 50-50 against mono white, and then yeah, picking up some losses here against, I think, Reanimator and Mardu, and then Rakdos, and then the mono green we just lost to. So, but yeah, really enjoying the deck. I recommend trying it out, and we will see you guys in the next one.